Hi everybody, we're here for my next build, which is a huge Enclave Outpost, and as you can see, this looks nothing like an Enclave Outpost. It's actually my first crappy settlement, so the first thing we need to do is to get rid of it. Alright, now that we've cleared that out of the way, we're back here with the real settlement. We've sectioned off this entire street area. We have a security checkpoint there on the right, and those are working gates. I made a whole video about those working gates using the XOR logic gate. There's a tripwire associated with them that opens up turrets and sets off a siren, which we'll see later when we get to the nighttime. We're going to treat this as a scouting mission, and we're going to infiltrate the post, so to speak, get a good look around, and investigate some missing settlers, namely one Mary Sutton. The gates are currently open, so we should have no problems getting in, and perhaps they'll let us join and even give us a mission. Like I said, I have a whole video about how to use the logic gate when you want one thing to turn on when another thing turns off. That's a bit more technical though, and not for everybody, so I put a link in the description. Now let's walk inside the main area of the settlement and head to the administrative offices. We'll see if we can get a uniform and some equipment. Looks like an engineer there. Alright, it looks like our adjutant is not here. Lieutenant Autumn. And it looks like General Stiggs. I hope some of you catch that reference. We can peek our head into his office. It doesn't look like there's anybody in there. Alright. Well, we'll head to the commissary. See if we can't get kitted out. Does look like he's got some stuff hidden behind there. We may check that out later. Here's the commissary. Looks like they have just about everything they could possibly need back here.
You've got to take things one day at a time.
Medicine and food. Drinks. And over here we have a lot of ammo,
Another day of
guns,
hard work. Never changes.
grenades, mines. Some special things behind the counter.
The farm's not much.
I like to use those baskets. I think they look really good. Alright, here's where we can get some Enclave uniforms and maybe some special equipment for other missions. It was a bit tricky getting those shells up there and lining it up with the existing structure. Alright, they've asked us to go upstairs and see to a bit of business in the communications area. Alright, looks like they've got quite a setup going on. Looks like they got some maps. Was the Eastern Front? Marking supplies. Doesn't look like they're going to be content to stay here. They've asked me to check on our operative over at Echo Lake. So if you've seen my build there, you know we have a bunker. So let's check that out. Our operative has been stationed there for quite some time and well stocked, but we haven't heard from him in a while. So we're not sure what exactly is up. We may have to revisit that at some point. Alright, we got the information that we wanted. Let me take a look around here. Looks like they have some faulty electrics up there. I got that technique from the insane Sheklador. But otherwise it looks like they expended a lot of energy at repairing the roof and adding a suspended ceiling. That's an idea I riffed off of. User top left. It looks like we may have found our missing settler. This doesn't look good at all. Got a bloody magazine. Let's get out of here and do the tour like we were ordered. We can come back later, sneak in, and get all the details we need. Starting to get a little dark here and rainy, which I think suits the mood just fine. It looks like Lieutenant Autumn is back. She's checking up on me, making sure I carry out the mission. So let's continue on with the tour. Alright, we got our bathrooms right there. Workbenches. Oh, let's check out the boathouse. Maybe something important in there. Alright. Whoa. Looks like they have a scout boat in here. Yeah, this is the engineering area. Mechanics and engineers. It's got its own special kind of organization. That boat should be great for going along the coast. We might be able to make use of it later. They are well stocked. Everything about the Enclave. It's a well-run operation with a lot of resources. We may be able to make use of this later. Alright, I think we learned what we need to learn. So let's take a look at the other areas of the settlement.
My back hurts, my feet hurt, everything hurts.
I think we'll take a look at the crow's nest up top. Get a bird's eye view. Looks like they made this guard post part of the roof repair. They really do know how to make custom lights up here. They got snipers and they can look all the way down the river. Whoa. There's a more advanced craft. We'll have to check that one out. You can see pretty far down that road. If we hop up here a little bit, we can see just how well they command this corridor. I think we'll check out that dock area before we get to the courtyard. Looks like we got some Navy personnel getting ready to load up and take off. This is definitely a Coast Guard staging area. And that boat is low enough to get under bridges. Take a look at the command post. The cabin. Some very strange goings on.
Yeah?
Alright, so it's time to check out this courtyard. Looks like we have some sort of holding cell here, which doesn't seem to be doing a very good job.
Lost track how many blisters.
Our guard shack. Our medic tent area.
I can patch you up if you need it. For a small fee, of course.
As usual, they are well stocked. And we got a bit of a gardening area. So at least they have some fresh food. We got the hay thrown down. Lots of supplies. They're working in the rain. I like those baseball launchers. They look like leaf blowers. And we got the mess area. They just gotta work outside under a tent. I got that little shelf trick there from old Rusty. Alright, it looks like we got the bunks over here. Got a 2-layered effect. I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed building with these Enclave pieces. They are a lot more versatile than you think. Got some ladders there so they can get up on the second floor. Alright, I think we've seen everything we need to see here. I think the next step is to sneak back in here at night and get the rest of the details. Let's take one more peek around here.
Yes?
Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, we're back here for a bit of a night tour, and I got a special treat at the end as well. A little bit of fun. So you can see the gates are closed and that tripwire is on. I don't like the look of that. So if you remember the boathouse earlier, I thought we might be able to make some use of it. There we are. Now let's see if we can sneak around a bit. Because it's the Enclave, we need to get that spooky night feeling. They used a lot of blue light. Ooh, a guard. For some reason walking around with a rolling pin. Let's go up top, take a quick peek. There's our boat and our staging operations. Uh-oh, it looks like our siren went off. Someone tripped that wire. We're gonna have to act fast. Get the info we need and get out of here. Maybe we can get away on this Coast Guard boat. No, it looks to be guarded. And nobody appears to be in there. Maybe we can get upstairs. Let's check and make sure nobody is here. The general is still nowhere to be found. Nobody in the commissary. Wish I had time to inventory all that for the railroad and the Minutemen. They have managed to scavenge a lot of electronics. And there it looks like we have Mary Sutton. And it does not look like she survived. We can only imagine what went wrong there. Now, it might be time to get out of here. Oh, look at that. My power armor. It might be time to put an end to this for once and for all. And they can't keep me in the walls now. Let's see if we can turn this alarm off. With the tripwire, everything closes. Let's open that gate up before they catch on to me. I can see them, but they can't see me very well. And there we go. Alright. It might be time to end this. Put an end to the Enclave presence. Taffington Boathouse. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed.